this masterclass of the day. Emmy, I'm so happy to have you back again
Thank you
today.
so much, Inda. I'm happy to be back again.
Yes, first session we had was a bit global, and today we had the many requests to have a special topic regarding this visas issues and problems. So we have prepared 10 general questions that will be very, very valuable for our people. So the first question, if we can see the question, is so maybe you explain again what is your activity, introduce yourself, and how you assist people with this visa procedures in the UAE.
Yeah, I'm Amy Joy, CEO of a business advisory firm based in Dubai. So, we basically assist business owners and investors across the globe to start their business journey in the country, whether it's starting with a license, immigration requirements, or maybe authority approvals, bookkeeping, or banking assistance, debt, or private equity. Pretty much everything to make the business operational in this region. And looking at today, I think the topic is more of immigration related, right?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
So, with regards to visa, so we need to identify what kind of visa is required, whether it's employment, um, or maybe investor visa or golden visa.
Yes. Okay, so that brings us to the next question,
Yes.
which is what are the main types of visa available in the UAE? I think we have tourist visa, residence visa, employment visa, investor visa, you mean it. So, what can you tell us about all this kind of visa?
Anyone other than the citizen of this country need a type of visa depending on the situation to arrive here and to stay here. So if tourist visa is specifically for people who want to come here for a temporary basis, it can vary from 1 week to 2 months. So in case if someone want to come here for employment purpose also, first the arrival will be on tourist visa, and based on the situation, once the person identify a proper employment, the employer can provide the visa, and that's one way of becoming the resident. Or maybe a business owner who want to start the business here, then of course it can be investor visa or general manager visa, whichever is suitable, but that is optional for him. Somebody starting with the business, of course, qualifies for investor visa. And then the other option, somebody investing in properties. So with a property value over and above 2 million, the investor qualifies for golden visa, which is for 10 years. So generally any resident visa is for 2 years, which need to be renewed in every 2 years, whether it's employment or investor. But golden visa is straight for 10 years.
All right, all right. So, so there's tourist visa, residence visa, investor visa,
Yeah.
and also if you buy a property.
Yes.
Okay.
So tourist visa, which is for a short duration, maximum of 2 months, which can be converted to resident visa.
Okay. So what do you need for that?
Okay. So the person who arrive here on a tourist visa can become a resident, either if he become owner of a company. That is, if the person start a business here by obtaining a business license through which he qualifies for investor visa. That is one way of becoming a resident. Otherwise, a tourist or somebody arrived here on a visit visa, want to become an employee and be an employee in this country, can qualify to get a job and then move to employment visa from a suitable employer.
All right. So that means that you will arrive here with the tourist visa.
Tourist visa.
While you are here, you can look for
a job.
a job.
Once you qualify with a proper offer letter, then the employer will provide an employment with a 2 years residency. That is a common scenario.
Okay.
Mostly people come here for employment, right? So whatever kind of employment, the employer must provide residency for that employee.
Okay. Okay. So it means that you look for a job, you get the job, and your employer.
Employer should provide the resident visa.
Okay.
So ideally, you don't have to pay for that. The employer is sponsoring. Employer is a sponsor of your residency.
Okay, so that's a very good point because we know that in our community, sometimes they ask people to pay to get this residence visa.
Yeah.
So
So that's not the proper way. So if I'm employing somebody,
yes,
I have a business here.
yes,
I have people working with me. So if I'm employing someone who is a resident of this country, of course I should sponsor the person for the resident visa. So it's my responsibility.
okay,
Yeah?
okay. Yeah, so this is a bit tricky because
Yes.
we know that most of people they will ask them to pay to get this visa. Okay, it's good to know. And now, if you want to come as an investor, so it means
Okay.
you can make your request before coming, right?
Yes, of course. So there are two ways of obtaining investor visa. One is golden visa, which everyone know. It's if you invest in a property. Okay, let's take it. Consider it two ways. An investor who is investing in assets. It can be a business asset, a business. Okay, I want to be a business owner in this country.
Yeah.
So I will apply for a business license. So the shareholder of the company qualifies for investor visa. That is another way of residency.
Yes.
At the same time, I'm an investor in properties. So I'm investing in property that will also qualify me to be a resident of this country. And that is golden visa, which is for 10 years. A normal investor visa is for 2 years.
2 years.
Which need to be renewed on every 2 years.
Okay. So you mean you can, maybe you're abroad, you can start your process for investor visa.
Yes.
You start, and when you arrive, you'll be coming here with the investor visa, right?
The ideal way is if you're looking for a business license, you can apply for the business license even if you are outside the country. The shareholder's presence is not required here to apply for the license. Once the license is approved, the next is we have to get the immigration card approved. Once the immigration card is approved, then we can apply for the entry permit. So normally, if an investor is coming to the country, mostly people come to this country on a visit visa. But for an investor, it's more smart to apply for the entry permit before the arrival rather than coming on a visit visa, and come on an entry permit and get the resident visa done once the person is inside the country.
All right.
So in order to get the resident visa, there are two requirements. You have the shareholder or whoever the applicant must go for the medical test, and the next is biometrics. So the thumb impression to be collected. So once these two are done, then the application will be completed and the Emirates ID, the national ID, will be delivered to the person.
Okay. So while you are abroad, you will start the process.
Yes.
Then you will get entry permit.
Yes.
Okay.
So start with the business license when
Business
you're away,
license, yeah.
and then get your entry permit instead of your visit visa to come to the country.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you don't have to apply for a visit visa in that case. While you are away, you can apply for your entry permit. Or whoever facilitates you this can get you the entry permit and come to the country on the entry permit. And then once you're inside, you can go for the medical and get your biometrics done. And then you will get your Emirates ID. So that is the complete process of residency. Once you have your Emirates ID in hand, you are a resident of the country.
Okay. Okay. So if there's some questions, maybe we'll take question while we were talking. It'll be maybe more interesting. If someone needs to have something explained clearly. You have a question? Okay. Is that a mic? Okay. While we are finding the mic for the brother, in general, what documents they will require to get investor visa?
Okay. Investor visa, definitely the corporate documents are ready because you have your license already.
In your home country?
Yeah, so investor visa definitely will have a business license, right?
Yeah.
So we apply for the investor visa after the license. So the corporate documents are ready before we apply for the visa. Yeah. and then passport copy, and some basic information like your contact details, and sometimes we have to produce bank statements from home country.
Yeah, so some countries.
Source of for
Yeah.
source of income is also required. Yeah.
Yeah, we saw that for some African countries now
Yes.
they are now also
Police
implementing
clearance, police clearance certificate is also required. Sometimes, not always. For some countries, police clearance certificate, and not just the document. You have to get this attested from the UAE embassy in home country,
Yeah.
and then attested by Ministry of Foreign Affairs in UAE.
All right. Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. There's a question?
Yes, my question is based on my own problem, and that is why I'm here.
Okay.
Yes, I have a visa problem, although I'm using a partnership visa.
Okay.
Yes, and it has expired, so I cannot be able to renew because the company that did visa for me, they cannot be able to renew me. Like they has a problem or whatever, I cannot tell.
So can they cancel your visa?
Yeah. They cannot be able to cancel me. So the problem I'm facing now is cancellation of my partner visa, so that I can be able to do
Get another
one.
visa.
Yes. So when I visited the immigration, they tell me that I should provide entry permit. Okay, entry permit and labor offer for them to cancel me or whatever, which a company will provide all those things for me. And the second, there are some agents that I met. They say that they will collect money from me for them to cancel me at the immigration. I should provide a such amount, 5,500 or more than that.
I understand your concern, which is very common. At least once in a week, I hear the same scenario. So can we talk this offline? Maybe I can listen to you. I need to get more details. So maybe we can speak separate.
Okay. But in general, what is the general solution for this kind of
Okay.
situation?
So what I have noticed, actually, there are, especially from Africa, I've noticed many people forming a company together. Many form one license. There might be 4, 5, or even more shareholders. So they get the visa. It's for the visa purpose. The business won't be operational. And then, at the time of renewal, see, what the complication is, the license need to be renewed every year. The visa is getting renewed every 2 years. So if the license is not renewed at the time, once it complete 1 year, then it's not in good order for the visa renewal.
Okay, so the ID is valid for 2 years,
ID is valid
but
for
the
2
license
years.
is valid for 1
Only
year.
for 1 year.
Okay.
So generally,
yeah.
the shareholders tend to forget, or maybe they ignore, I don't know what exactly, the license is not renewed for the second year.
So the thing is that you need to make sure that your license will be renewed.
Of course.
That's what you need to do.
Yeah. So it's
Okay.
not only license, actually. When you renew your license, you have to renew immigration card,
Okay.
which is mandatory because it's not the license. Your visa is linked to your immigration card. And the immigration card is linked to your license. So every year when you're renewing, you are renewing your visa, your license, your immigration card, and your visa allocation. Imagine there are 5 visa holders from one license. So when you're renewing on the first year, second year, when you're renewing the license, you have to renew the license, immigration card, and the visa allocations. All the 5 visa allocations need to be renewed.
Okay.
If it's not renewed, license will gather all the penalties. Immigration card will also gather the penalties. So at the end, when you want to renew your ID, by the time, there will be a lot of penalties accumulated. And not just that now, corporate tax is another thing to be considered.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
So with the authorities, if your business is not in good order, you will collect all the penalties, and it's really huge. And by the time you realize that, okay, I have to renew my ID, the penalties itself might be too much. So this is a general thing that I'm noticing these days. I know there are so many companies which are where they don't even register. Even after running the business for 3 years, they haven't registered for corporate tax.
Yeah, that's an information that people
Tend
don't-
to forget
Yeah,
or
yeah,
maybe
yeah.
tend to ignore.
Yeah, or maybe they don't know.
Yes.
Yeah, because in our understanding, once you get the license, you get it.
Yes.
Yeah, you're not really aware that you have to register for
Yes.
tax corporation and so and so. Because, people tell us that in UAE, there's no tax. Can you clarify this point
Yeah,
also?
so for a good standing, it's not just the license. There is a general thought that once you have the license, okay, you're good to go, you can run
Yeah.
your business.
Yeah.
But once you get your license, you have to fix your residency, because for any business to run smoothly, you need a bank account. There are still many licenses here without
Bank
a bank
account.
account. How will you operate? How will you transact? Right? So, any bank to onboard your business, the shareholder must be a resident. At least one of the shareholder must be a resident. Without a resident shareholder, banks cannot onboard the business bank account.
Okay.
And the moment the license is approved, it's very important and it's critical that all the businesses should be registered with FTA, Federal Tax Authority, for corporate tax. Whether you qualify to pay or not, you must register your business for corporate tax. And the corporate tax filing, mandatorily, it has to be done once in a year. So these are basic mandatory things to make the business in good standing.
Okay, good. Is that any other question?
Please, my question is, in cases where you have this partnership visa, okay? Like there are some people when they get into Dubai, they don't know anything about visa. Okay, they offer them this partnership visa is for 3 years because they're happy to have it.
Partnership visa is only for 2 years now. Before it was for 3 years.
Before it was for 3 years because it's a recently incident that happened to one of my friends.
Okay.
So when they gave him this partnership visa and he was working in one medical center, so the company now wanted to do his own visa now. So when he went now for the cancellation of the visa, they denied to cancel the visa. Meanwhile, it was valid. Okay, the case was that under the partnership visa they did for him, they also allocated some people under him. Like for example, when you're a partnership visa, you can sponsor other people.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, so they could not cancel it because there were a lot of people under him. So that was the
So
case.
you're talking about the family? He sponsored his family or employees?
Employees,
Okay.
yeah, that was employees.
Okay.
Yeah, so he had to travel back to our home country and make about 6 months there. Then before came back, and so luckily he went back to his company. They took him back, and so I don't know. In such cases, when it comes like that, to whom can you refer to sort that problem if you don't want to travel out?
If you don't want to?
If you don't want to travel out,
If you want to travel.
if you don't want to travel out back to your country, because the only solution they gave to him was that he needs to go back to our country before coming back, and to when the visa is going to expire, that's when they can come back.
Okay. See, in this situation, I really need to see the visa, the ID, the validity. So for me to comment further, I have to see the documents. I can definitely answer you separately because I must see the documents. So if you can collect and show me the documents, I mean the visa and the Emirates ID and also the license copy. So get me these 3 things: the license copy, the Emirates ID of the visa holder, and visa page if possible. Otherwise, it's okay. Just get the Emirates ID and the license copy. For both of you, please. Yeah? Once if I see the document, then I can answer you better.
Okay, my second question goes this way. Is there any investment that you can do in the UAE that can make you have a UAE passport?
It's clear. Ok. Tu avais une question, tu disais? Ok. C'est ce qu'elle a expliqué en début d'émission. Tu peux entrer avec un visa touriste et ensuite chercher un travail. Maintenant, si tu trouves le travail, en fait, c'est à ton employeur maintenant d'engager une démarche pour transformer ton visa touriste en visa employé. C'est ce qu'elle a expliqué en début d'émission. Et que normalement, la charge de cette procédure revient à l'employeur, ah, alors tu peux pas. Tu dois rentrer. Si tu ne trouves pas un job, tu dois rentrer. When you enter with a tourist visa, if you don't find a job, can you be sponsored by someone to get a resident visa?
Sponsorship is only for immediate family.
Immediate family.
Yes.
Okay.
You cannot sponsor a stranger, I mean, outside your family.
Voilà. Tu peux sponsoriser uniquement un membre de ta famille. Donc tu peux pas sponsoriser quelqu'un qui n'est pas de ta famille. Donc ça veut dire que it means that once you get your residence visa, you can sponsor your wife, your children,
Yes.
and so and so.
Yes.
This is for all nationality.
It's the same. It's the same for all the nationalities. So once you have job and your salary should be, I think, 4,000 dirhams, then you can sponsor your immediate family, your wife and children.
Okay. So if you earn like 4,000, or maybe we will check,
Yes.
you have the right to sponsor your family.
Yes.
Okay, that's a good information also to know.
See, for anybody earning more than 4,000, they will have family status. That is with the labor.
So it means that the company cannot refuse you to sponsor someone, because I know someone who sponsor his wife without the approval of the company, but the company cancel his visa.
I think you need to obtain an NOC from the company when you are sponsoring. I think this is required, yeah. So if the company is not agreeing, they may not issue, right, NOC.
All right, thank you.
Okay. So we have some question now about the overstay.
Very common.
Yeah, this is very common and it's a big problem. So first of all, can you explain what is overstay?
Yeah. So whether it's a tourist visa or resident visa, let's look at tourist visa. Tourist visa is for 2 months. You are supposed to exit the country on the 60th day. So you have to really look at the validity of the visa and leave the country before the visa is exceeded. Yeah. So if you stay here and if you don't exit the country at the expiry of the visa, then every day is considered as overstay. And as per the policy, for each day that you stay here, after the visa validity, you have to pay certain penalty. So whether it's employment visa or any sort of visa, so if you exceed staying here beyond the validity of the visa, that's overstay.
So when someone is already in an irregular visa situation, what are the first steps they should take to regularize their status?
Okay. Like our brothers mentioned here, so there could be some situations, especially when it comes to mainland license. If your visa is linked to mainland license, then of course, many scenarios we see there might be a local sponsor also linked to the mainland license. And then we need to get the approval from all the partners to cancel a visa. Or the establishment card is issued in the name of one of the shareholder. So whatever be the scenario, if somebody having a visa which is already expired and the visa is not cancelled. Okay, another important thing that you have to look at is whether your visa expired or not. Even if your visa is expired, still you have to cancel your visa.
Okay.
So you think that, okay, my visa was still yesterday. Yesterday my visa is expired, so it's cancelled. No, it will not be cancelled by itself. You have to apply for cancellation.
Okay.
So this is
And
also...
where do you do this application?
This is only for the resident visa, not for tourist
only
visa.
for resident visa?
Yeah.
Tourist, you don't,
No.
no need.
Tourist visa anyway, the person will exit the country and it's over.
All right.
But for a resident, if the visa validity is for 2 years and beyond 2 years, either you can renew it or you must cancel it. It will not get cancelled
Automatically.
It will not be cancelled by itself.
And it's the same thing for license. company license.
Yes. Oh, company.
Okay, because this was something also I learned that it's not automatically, if you don't
No.
need your license, you have to cancel it, right?
It's not canceling. You have to liquidate your company.
To?
Liquidate your company.
Okay.
Okay. I must mention this also because this is a little lengthy process,
Yeah.
and it's a mandatory process. The consequences of not liquidating a company. For example, there is a shareholder having a license, and his visa was on the license. Immediately he decided, okay, I'm leaving the country. My license is for so and so time, and then my visa is till so and so date. I want to cancel I want to leave. I don't need it anymore, so let it be. So that let it be will not help you, because when you decide to leave the business, you need to liquidate the company. That liquidation involves a little lengthy process. You have to prepare your liquidation report. Whether your business was operational or non-operational, the authorities must know what was happening with the license. So liquidation report will talk about the financial position of the company. And then you have to deregister the company with the authorities. The deregistration process involve cancellation of all the visas associated with that license. Whether it's whether it's investor visa or employee visa, all the visas must be cancelled, and the liquidation report must be done. And then you have to advertise your company in the newspaper that so and so company is getting liquidated. This is see, there might be many businesses not operational here. They might not have much of transactions. There might be just visas, but still, for the authority to know, that's the reason we do liquidation report. However, the reason why we are publishing in the newspaper, if there are receivables or payables to the anybody want to have any allegations with the company, so there is a advertisement period like 2 weeks or so and so time. It will be announced in the newspaper, and whoever having an allegation with the company, they have the time to claim it. So this is a whole liquidation process. It takes like 2 months time, mostly like at least more than a month's time. And along with the liquidation, it's mandatory that we have to deregister from the Federal Tax Authority.
Okay. So we'll go to our last question, which is what advice would you like to give to the community to avoid mistakes, unreliable agents? That's a very important point, and any visa-related scams.
Yeah.
Sí. No.
Okay, if someone has like 4 years overstay, is there a chance of solution?
So
There are cases,
I know.
a lot.
I know. But see, this is the ideal way of getting it sorted is paying the penalties. But you know what? Sometimes authorities give some waivers on the penalties. But approach the authorities and request for waiver. I remember a couple of known people. One of my, she was a helper for me for quite a long time. She was from Ghana, and she had overstay for quite a long time. And during Ramadan or sometime, the authorities announced, waiver for overstay. She utilized that opportunity, got the waiver for quite a lot of money on the penalty. And as far as I know, this is the only possibility I could suggest. Be aware about these, waivers and make use of it. And I feel this country is quite generous in that matter.
Yeah.
But we have to approach them. Otherwise, they will not come to us, right? They will not come and check whether do you have overstay. But go to the authorities or be watchful about, such waivers. Like same way how there are waivers for traffic fines. So there are, there might be a season for...
This is
Yeah.
much more.
Yeah, exactly. But there is a season for these penalty waivers as well. So make use of it. That's the only way.
Okay, thank you. Just a second, please. Just one moment, please.
Yes, I have a question, please.
Okay, please.
Yes, ma'am, please. I would like to know, for someone who is on employment visa, maybe you leave the country for some reason, but you are not able to come back. You were thinking you were going to come back, but you are unable to come back. You just leave your visa to expire. That time, you still need cancellation, or what is going to happen, please?
Okay. Generally, after 6 months, once the visa, once a person leave the country or the visa is expired, generally after 6 months, the visa get cancelled by itself. After 6 months. So, after 6 months, you could check in the immigration system. Whoever is outside the country, they can get it checked in the immigration system if the visa is cancelled, and then they can apply for a re-entry.
All right, thank you.
Oui, c'est ça. En fait, c'est que il y a le gouvernement fait quand même beaucoup de prévention. Donc, il faut vraiment, avant de t'engager dans une procédure de visa, il faut quand même prendre le temps de vérifier avec qui je m'engage. C'est ce qu'elle dit. Que de plus en plus, les autorités quand même font de la communication, de faire attention aux trafiquants de visa, aux personnes qui ne sont pas. Il faut quand même bien vérifier à qui tu as affaire. OK. Yeah, because I saw recently that now the government is not allowing people to open companies anymore just to give visas. I think I saw that
The
recently.
manpower supply kind of, yeah. The licenses which are just to provide the.
Yeah.
Ideally, you don't need to do that, because even if you're buying a visa from such a company, you're paying a reasonable amount of money. So
It's a
instead-
lot. Some people will
instead-
pay
yeah.
14, 15.
Yeah, so
1,000.
instead you can get a license on your own and then get your visa done.
That's the information. You don't need to pay 10,000, 12,000 to pay for your visa. You can create your own company.
Exactly.
That's the fact.
Yes. So instead of paying someone and then getting dependent on somebody, manage your own, profile here.
So this is an information main people they don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
They just think that someone will ask me 12,000 to have an ID. With 12,000, you can
Yes.
start your own business, right?
Yes. And I heard they charge every year, not just one time.
Oh,
The
okay.
visa is for 2 years.
That's for 2 years.
Yes.
But
So
every
the
year,
second year also you have to pay.
It's true, with 12,000 dirhams, you can have your own license, right? But once a time, I went to Emma Center and I wanted to do a business license for myself and my family. So what they told me there is that you can actually, the ID card is about 2,500, but what is most expensive there is a license, and which is being renewed every year. So now the amount they told me about the license there, it depends on your nationality. Like for example, if I'm Cameroonian, I will not be paying the same amount like a Nigerian or a Ghanaian, things like that. So when we went on verifying the price, I need to pay every year as a Cameroonian. It was about 12,000 something dirhams.
It's not for any nationality, it's for everybody.
For
Because
everybody.
your license, for example, if you are getting a license for the purpose of residency, you don't need to go for Dubai free zone or anything. You can probably take it from a much lower, more budgeted free zone.
Okay, so what are they? Can you help us with some free zones we can get into that?
Certainly. But one thing you have to be aware, when you're forming a company, even if it's for residency, you must adhere to the regulatory bodies here. That is Federal Tax Authority. You must register your company for corporate tax. And if you don't register, okay, you might be thinking, okay, I got this license only for the residency. But it's a business license. So you will not get any discount on the requirements that you need to adhere to the authorities here. So that license you have to register for corporate tax, which is mandatory. Yeah, understood, right? So, and another thing, now all the Emirates have made it mandatory that for any resident visa, a medical insurance is also, that is also mandatory. So these are additional things that you need to do. Yeah.
and also what I know is that the price is linked with the activities
Yeah.
also.
Yes.
So, depending the activity you want to do, there's
Yes.
a price, right?
So there are some options, but I suggest you can come to me. Let me see if I can work out something for such a situation. Yeah. So for individuals who are looking for residency, only for a business license, only for residency. Maybe I'll talk to. Let me see if I can structure something. Yeah.
Okay. Other questions?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am, please, I still have a question. In case I want to do my own residency by myself, so what are the steps can I really align?
I will talk to you separately. I will come to you.
But the answer she said
Because,
already.
You know why I'm saying? See, for each person, the scenario might be different. So I need to know personally to understand where you will fit in.
But the information has been given already.
It's standard.
You
Yeah.
can be your own sponsor by creating your own company. You can do it by yourself. You choose your activity, you get the amount, and you pay for it. Then you are your own sponsor. Now, the more you can tell is maybe what activity, what you want to do, where you want to do it, which free zone, mainland. This is additional information that Amy will tell you. But il n'y a pas une règle générale, c'est que chaque activité a sa licence. Each activity has, comme il y a plusieurs secteurs, plusieurs activités, you have many activities, many sectors. So you need to tell what you want to do and or how much money you have. With the money you have, what can you do? We can take the problem on the other side. Okay, she's asking if you want to stay here, you don't want to create a company, you don't want to have a sponsor, can you get a residency visa?
No. There should be a sponsor. Either you can sponsor yourself by having a business, otherwise, you should be sponsored by an employer. That's the only way of having residency. There should be a sponsor. The sponsor can be either yourself by forming a company, or you should be sponsored by another company, which is under someone's sponsor ownership.
Oh.
Sure, we'll do that. I have to
Okay.
attend few. Yeah, I know.
Thank you.